This is going to be a casual get ready with me, and I thought I'm gonna spice it up by using mainly stuff that is either fairly new to my collection, so that means I have used it maybe a couple of times but it was added very recently, or just stuff that I haven't used yet. And to spice it up even more, I did the question sticker on Instagram, where you were just able to drop questions, assumptions, spicy things, whatever was on your mind. And we're going to talk about that. And let me tell you, you know no limits, don't you? What the heck? So the primer we're using is the MAC Prep and Prime Skin Base. This I added very recently back to my collection for my specific MAC video. Oh, by the way, today it's October 2nd, and I think today is going to launch the last part of the holiday collection. I had an early access link, but two things were missing, and one of them was the big eyeshadow palette, and I want to have the big one. So hopefully it should launch today. And also the new Beauty Bay palette is launching. Like, what the heck's going on recently? It's just a lot. Do you feel as overwhelmed as me? Because I sometimes surely do. So the first question, let's start very soft. How's life going? Actually, okay-ish. I had a very, very stressful September. And when I say stressful, I mean stressful to a point where I maybe had one or two breakdowns. But I think that is going to change now because, again, filming this October 2nd, today I have to work once more and then I do have the rest of the week off. So I should relax now, which is nice. By the way, the palette that we are going to use is this beautiful Bala Beauté Bar Smoky Glam palette. I haven't touched it yet. I had to wait for this palette nearly 3 weeks because the shop where I ordered it had a bit of a delay going on for their like own delivery. But now we're here and look at her. I said it already on Instagram. Do you know what this palette reminds me of? The Be Perfect Interstellar palette, the Carnival 5. Because you have this like gray area, then a pink area, and the Interstellar only has in addition a blue and green area and a bit of yellow. But other than that, it's like a very similar vibe. But what do I want to do today? I want to do something gray and purple. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with a gray and purple palette? Of course I do something gray and purple. No, but in general, life's good. It's getting better now, and I think we can survive that very, very hard phase of my year. I love, by the way, that you care about my cats too. So the next question is, how are your cats? They're fine. We have this new one, Waltraud. She is just a kitten. She's about half a year old. And this week we go to the vet with her to just do an appointment for her. What's it called in English? To get spayed. That's the correct term. The other three are fine. 2 of them are still fighting every day. I don't know what to do. So if you have any tips, let me know. I'm starting to look with the shade Clay Dreaming. I love, by the way, these shade names. They're hilarious. And I use this as transition color. By the way, I have so high expectations on this palette because everybody is raving about the Bala Beauté Bar formulation. And this palette, if it's working, is actually deciding whether I want to get the recently de-influenced or not. So you can basically say that this palette is either de-influencing me or influencing me, which is, in my word, this is funny. Probably not, but it's 6 a.m. so everything is kind of funny. I'm now tapping into Platinum Princess, and I apply this on the inner part, blending that in. I want to have this a bit of a grayish gradient going on. Can we talk about perfumes? Any favorites? Yes, fuck yeah, I love perfumes. I barely talk about them here because I'm just very, very bad at describing scents and notes, and to be honest, I have actually no idea what the difference between like the head, the heart, and the bottom note is. So don't get me on that, but there is a perfume that was my favorite, and I am still sad to this day that this is discontinued, and it is the Yves Saint Laurent Opium, but they had a version that had this name Opium Vapeur, and it came in this light, I don't know, light brownish bottle. It's this one. but they don't make it anymore. But this scent, I'm pretty sure it was like cinnamony, cardamom. It was sweet, but not too sweet. It was perfection. I really, really love that. I mean, I have black opium still, so this is a great scent too, but nothing will ever beat this motherfucker. I'm now going into Night Dream. One of my current favorites is actually Tom Ford, no, what's it called? Ombre Leather, the black one. Ombre Leather is fantastic. I'm also really, really enjoying the Kayali Pistachio one. Joe Malone is high up there. There is a black currant one that I absolutely love. I could wear this every single motherfucking day. And in general, I am actually a fan of more heavy and oody perfumes. So the Kayali Oud collection would be totally for me, and they completely missed the opportunity to bring out a set containing the 4 minis of that. They did not do this. You only can buy them as a single, so I'm still hoping they will do a collection box with that, because that would be fucking awesome. I'm now going into Smoked Out, which is the darkest matte shade in here. It's like a very dark gray. And I use this on the outer part and bit into the crease. You know, I love this little bit of depth going on there. How did you get into makeup? Are you German and do you wear lots of makeup on a daily basis? First of all, yes, I am German. I was born and raised here, even though I have Russian roots, as I told you, I think a couple of videos ago. And what you see, what I do here on these videos, either on Instagram or here on YouTube, does not matter. I do film myself when I get ready. So this is what I wear to work. I don't fucking care if it's full glam or not. I don't freaking care for any kind of office appropriate makeup. I think this is such an old concept. I get sick of it. There is no thing such office appropriate makeup. Whatever makes you feel confident is office appropriate, and whatever is legal is office appropriate. Same with tattoos and piercings. Like I am so against those strict policies. It's making me sick. I used to work in a job where there was a no tattoo policy, and guess what? I wasn't very long in that job. So yeah, I do wear lots of makeup, seems so. Again, I do not do for YouTube anything different than I would do when I'm not filming, and I just wear what I like. We're even at the point where workmates stop by when they enter the office, when I work in the office, and are like, stop, show me your eyes today, because they just want to look what I wear that day. And I actually love that. I kind of want to use this black onyx shade because it looks so delicious, but I also want to use something of the purples. We can do that. So I'm tapping now into black onyx. I just applied some of my trusty glitter glue, you know that. I hope the camera can catch this sparkle. Oh, fuck it. What do you think about the German makeup style? I feel like often it's nothing of full glam with fake lashes. I have to be honest, I had to Google what German makeup style is because I never heard about that. And I'm German. By the way, I'm tapping this black onyx shade on the outer third. Oh. It's so pretty. Definitely have to do some blending then on the edges, but that's okay. I'm now using Velvet Crush. Oh, that's a bit of a different formulation. Okay. But I apply this in the center. Okay, maybe my brush is a bit too flimsy for that. That was a bit of a fail now. But back to the question. Yeah, I had to Google what the fuck is German makeup style, and then I stumbled across old articles, but I also came across like TikTok videos how to do German makeup, and I'm like, nobody's wearing that. Nobody has a specific German makeup style. I feel like in Germany especially, oh yeah, with glitter glue on the brush it's better. In Germany especially, it highly depends where you're from. So for example, Berlin makeup is, or Berlin style is completely different to Munich or Frankfurt style. You know, Frankfurt basically is the definition of ghetto makeup. I know, I'm sorry if I offend any people from there, but it is what it is. While Berlin is the definition of editorial makeup, because nobody fucking cares what you wear in that big city. while Munich is, in my opinion, the definition of sophisticated makeup, because the whole like Munich lifestyle is very high maintenance, very expensive. But yeah, I never heard of German makeup style. In general, by the way, I would say that from what I have seen where I worked and where I have lived, a lot of girls don't wear makeup, or they just do mascara. And a lot of people that I work with and that see what I do, they are like, oh, how can you spend so much time on makeup? How can you spend so much money on makeup? There is like no purpose, because Germans are very practical, they're very pragmatic. And I am too in a lot of cases, but not when it comes to makeup. But again, it's just super, super different from area to area. I do live in like the northeast of Germany. For example, I do have 2.5 hours to Berlin and maybe around 3 hours to Hamburg. We don't have here good makeup style. I think I'm very out there with my makeup. I see how people look at me sometimes, but I don't fucking care. By the way, I'm now going into Imagine. Formulation here reminds me a fucking lot of Adept Cosmetics. It's your typical indie brand shimmer. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind that. I was just expecting something different, to be honest. But I use that Imagine shade now on the rest of the lid. I do have a couple of friends that are into makeup as I am, but also not that much. You know, the way I collect makeup, the way I love makeup is not the way they love their makeup. A lot of them are the typical, how can I describe this? The typical bathroom makeup user. They do have their bags in the bathroom and then they do their makeup standing up, and I'm like, no. Like, I do stand while I do my skincare and brush my teeth, yes, but when I do my makeup, I want to sit down, I put on a video. Sometimes if I'm not filming a full-time video, I put, I don't know, I just make myself a cozy vibe. This Imagine shade is so freaking beautiful. No questions, just looking forward to it. Oh, you can, because we are getting really, really, really spicy here. So the next question I don't want to give a trigger warning. Do you know that there is a study of scientists that proved basically that the trigger warning in the beginning of videos or articles or wherever is causing that trigger to appear much more intense than it would have been without a trigger warning? Just saying. I know the purpose of a trigger warning is to give people chances to not read or to not see a specific video. But to be honest, with trigger warnings, you're actually encouraging them to do, because people get nosy. It is what it is. Why don't you want kids? First of all, this is an absolute disrespectful question. Let me tell you that. I myself, I don't care if you ask me that questions, I'm happy to answer that, but please keep in mind that a lot of people out there maybe want to have kids, but they can't. And assuming that they don't want to have why they can't is not nice, and a lot of people do suffer from that. I'm not overly sensitive or so, but I just know from others in my in my friendship environment that they do want to have kids, but they can't because of stress, because of medical issues, and they really, really struggle with that, and their whole relationship at a certain point can start to struggle with that. So just in general, be careful who you ask this question. Do you know that person well enough to be that one to ask this question, or is it just a disrespectful one? But I'm happy to answer you that. First of all, I don't like kids. I think they're disgusting. I don't want to press something out of my vagina that basically is in the size of a fucking football. I don't want to care for another human being, especially because I can't really care for myself very well. I don't want to have the responsibility for another human being. And I'm just way too self-centered. I just say the truth. I don't want to give up any of my hobbies. If I now had kids, I would have to give up something. I would either have to give up this room where I do study and where I have my makeup. Me and my husband would have to give up the room where we basically have our fitness stuff and where I have my piano. I'm just way too selfish for that. And when somebody can admit that to himself or to herself, I think that is that has just a certain vibe to me, that they just know themselves. They know what they want, they know who they are, and please don't comment now and come at me like, oh yeah, that is going to change. I'm 30 fucking 2, that is not going to change. My mom told me that when I was a kid, like we're talking 6 or 7 years old, even at that time, I did not want to play with younger kids. I only hung out with older kids. I never wanted to play with those baby born shitties. I think babies are disgusting. I'm sorry, but everybody's like, oh, it's so cute. No, it's disgusting. It's slimy, it's bloody, it's wrinkly, it can't do nothing. Sorry. No. I'm happy for all my friends who have kids. I am really, really happy for them that they are happy with that, but don't force it on me. I don't want to. And I also don't want to hold your kid. Just saying. I don't want to. You can bring it to my house if it's clean, but don't force me to hold your kid. For foundation, by the way, I'm going to use the Shiseido Revitalizing Skin Glow that I recently just tested, and oh fuck, I love it. What are you doing for a living? I think I talked about this once, but I am basically responsible for training and onboarding. I do a lot of shit that has to do with KPIs and numbers, and I work at the service center for a bigger like telecommunication company. That should be enough for now. How do you manage your schedule? I know what you're talking about. I posted about that, I think, on Instagram, and I even said it in some of my videos. I basically try to film every day, at least the shorts or like reels or whatever. I do have filming days, but I also have a full-time study going on. I do full-time work. So how do I manage the schedule? Well, the big secret is I don't fucking sleep. And I'm not even kidding. I really do not sleep a lot. I take my time in the weekends. Like usually in the week I get up at 3 or 4 a.m. Today I slept in a bit longer because I work from home and I don't have a on point 8 a.m. Meeting today. So I can take a little more time. But on the weekends I do get up at 3 or 4 a.m. too. But then I go on my couch and I basically sleep there for another 2 or 3 hours. After I played on the phone like an hour or so or check what's happening on Instagram. You know, people always say like, oh yeah, we're so much on our phones and we're so addicted to Instagram. Personally, I don't feel addicted to Instagram at this point because I enjoy it. I enjoy watching what have you uploaded. I just really love interacting. I one day woke up and I had like, I don't know, 8 or 9 DMs because people were reacting to something I posted in the stories, and I just love that. I love the interaction, I love the discussion, and I love to get to know different points of view. That's very important for me. But yeah, how I manage my schedule is I don't fucking sleep. And I also have to admit that I have a very, very big supporter here in my house, which is my husband, because he's basically doing all the chores at home besides cooking. I cook, but he does all the rest, and I'm very, very thankful for that. Finally, my House Labs concealer is here. I already tried this. I got 2 shades, the 04 Fair Neutral and also the 01 Fair Neutral. And since this Shiseido foundation is so light, I'm using the 01 Fair Neutral. How long have you and your husband been together? 6 and kind of a half years somehow. No, 6 years and 3 months. And the second part of the question is, how have you met? Funny story, we met at work. He has already been working at the company where we both are still at now for half a year, and he was basically the one who showed me everything that I had to do. He was not like the onboarding person, but He was like the one who did the training on the job with me, and at the time where we got to know each other, he was in a relationship. And yeah, let me just tell you that 3 months after I started that job there, he left her and he moved in. So basically, we have been also living together since the first day of our relationship. I think I talked about the fact that I love the Makeup by Mario stuff, the like bronzer shit a lot, but I haven't told you that I also really like the Milk Toasted Contour Stick. I don't know what it is about this certain stick, but it just works. I just really enjoy the way this looks on my face. And I'm usually not a fan of the Milk makeup stick thingies. I don't know. They all smell like Play-Doh. This one, by the way, too, but they all feel very weird. Didn't like the bronzer, I didn't like the blush, but the contour stick and toasted, that's a good one. So let's give the Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh blush another chance, but I don't know, I kind of don't like the formulation. But I use it as I use any very liquidy blush with one of those stippling brushes. I feel like they work the best. It's a very sheer blush though, no, you know? And it's fine. It shows up, it's okay. But to be honest, I expected more because this blush appeared in so many people's favorites a certain time. I was just like, I need to try this, but it's okay. Nothing I would repurchase. So I have this new Rabanne Glitter Shot highlighter that I actually do not really like. I don't know, I just don't get the purpose because all of the glitter shit is just sticking to the bottom and then you have to shake it up like nobody's fucking business. And it also doesn't go on very well, but I give it a try because I want to love this because I like the vibe of it. So I take something on a sponge and then I just tap it on top. Because if I apply this with a brush, this actually lifts foundation and the blush, and I don't understand that. You can barely see it. It's like there's too much liquid for too less pigment. When I let the sponge soak up of the liquid, I'm left with this pigment and then it looks kind of okay. But it already lifted everything. I think this is going to leave my collection. I don't like this. It's not good. The other Rabanne stuff, the eyeshadow, the creams, fantastic. But this, not good. Now let's set the under eyes with the new Huda Easy Bake Powder. If you have seen my first impression on this, it was not very good because the applicator in here is just pure bullshit. When you apply this with a puff, it is way too thick, but with a brush, I actually managed to make it work. And I'm uploading a short review, like a 1-minute review, I think tomorrow? Yeah, when you see the video tomorrow. But I can spoil you, of course, now because I hate gatekeeping. It will never be my favorite powder, but I can make it work. Do you track the size of your collection and do you have a goal or limit on that? I don't have a limit. My personal limit is as long as I feel comfortable, I'm fine with that. By the way, I'm now going into smoked out again, but with a very flat brush. So for example, I currently have this declutter series going on because I just want to make up my mind a bit for the ranking for the end of the year, and I just cannot keep everything, and a lot of the stuff I kept just for comparing purposes. A category I do feel very uncomfortable currently is actually lips, and I cannot wait to declutter my lip gloss and lipstick stash because that is just overwhelmingly much at the moment and I do not like that. But other than that, there is no limit, no goal, whatever I like. I'm now using Icon. I used this to blend starting from the inner lash part or like low lash part, and then I blend the black out or the smoked out shade out. But yeah, I do track my my makeup collection. I do have a big Excel spreadsheet, and in that spreadsheet I do have different like pages, foundation, primer, powder, and so on. And there I have written them down. I do have written down the prices, and then there is a collective sheet in that spreadsheet where I just have a overall number, like I let them count what kind of I do have from every single category, and also how much worth I have in every category. And before I decluttered eyeshadow palettes, which I did a couple days ago, but I don't know when you will see this, probably in a couple weeks. I decluttered 12 eyeshadow palettes because I felt with some of them, again, that overwhelmed, you know? And some of those eyeshadow palettes, again, I just kept because I wanted to have them because I have nothing else from the brand, but I just had to let go. And some of these I tested like furthermore, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like it, so let go of that shit. Life's too short for bad makeup. I'm now going into Milk Bath. It's again your typical indie eyeshadow. If you know what I mean, as soon as you touch it, it kind of presses in and gets flaky when you rub too much. That is what I mean. But I used that shade on the inner corner. Oh, it's more of a translucent topper shade. I did not expect that. I thought it had a bit more of a base going on, but I actually don't mind it. I like that. How do you make adapt soft shadows stay on and not crease? I don't, actually. I will talk about that in Friday's brand review too, because at the end of the video, my eyeshadow has already creased, and the thing just is, I don't care, you know? I truly do not care, because I don't walk around like this. I don't walk around showing people my eyelid. And usually your shadow creases in those folds that naturally fold when you blink. Therefore, it's barely invisible. You, of course, you yourself, you see it in the mirror. You do, because you know it. But other people that are interacting with you, they don't see it. That's why I just do not care for that, to be honest. But if you say adapt, the same is going on here with this inner part shade. I already see how it's crackling, because when you apply of this formulation too much of eyeshadow, it's like a, I love always to say dried up metal paint, and that is exactly what it then turns up to look like. It's cracking, it's weird, it's not pretty. I have a bit of fallout, but I don't care because this booty is saving us. I do have the new Milk Makeup Pro Eclipse powder. I said in my You Don't Need That Shit that as soon as this launches, I will definitely buy it. I do really enjoy it. It is not better than the old version. And I think the old version is still a bit better because you get more for your money. Or you got more for your money. It's discontinued. And I apply the majority of the powder with a puff. But I just realized for myself that even if I do it with a puff, I still want to go over everything with a brush. I just don't like the only puff look. I don't know. What's a brand / product you'd love to try but don't because of the public opinion on it? No, nothing. I actually do not care what the public opinion is about something. If I like the product, I like the product. If I don't like the product, I don't like the product. And if I myself decide to not support a certain brand or a certain product because of my own standards, then I won't. I would never ever let public tell me what the fuck I should do. Indie makeup or luxury makeup, that's tough. Indie makeup for eyeshadow, luxe makeup for everything else. Well, maybe not for everything. For example, I love highlighter from indie brands more because they are just banging better. But I also haven't seen an indie brand coming out with a foundation. Or is there one? I don't think so, because I feel like foundation would be much harder to tackle on than it is with eyeshadow. And the risk of getting cancelled for your foundation range is also way too high. By the way, for the brows, I'm using the House Labs, the Edge Precision Brow Pencil. It's not new, but it's fairly new to me. And I like it. I really do. It's a very interesting shade of taupe, to be honest, because it has the slightest green tint to it, but not visible. It's just the right amount of green to make it a perfect taupe. What brand is absolutely not worth it, no matter the hype? Before I answer that, let me tell you that I ordered very recently from that brand because I want to try it. And when the brand came out with a product like this last year, I absolutely loved it. But I want to say that in general, I think this brand has lost its spark, it has lost its creativity, it has lost its specialty. I'm talking about Pat McGrath. Since Mothership 10 came out last year, there was a very, very fast downfall in my opinion. And after that whole drama of Mothership 11, I lost completely interest in the brand. And now you're probably like, oh yeah, that's very hypocritical. Maybe, yes, but as I said, these products that I ordered were also part of the Christmas collection last year, and I love them. I'm talking about the 5-pan palettes. And in my smash or pass on that collection, I even said that if I ordered, I would either be interested in a face palette or in the quints. The face palette I decided to skip because the bronzer I already have, and I don't know, I at the end it would be just another face palette, so I skipped that. But I actually decided to get all 4 quints and not only 2. And I have to be honest, I got sucked in a bit on her Instagram because the looks that she created with the quints were really beautiful. And it's a formulation thing. I do like this special metal formula that she gave us in last year's quints. I still have the Bronze Bliss one. The Nude Allure actually decluttered because of the color story. Not for the quality, just the color story. And the quints that she brought out for the Star Wars collection, those were bullshit. So I still hope that these Christmas quints are the same as last year. And then I don't have a problem with that because I always say I separate art from artist. And if we're completely honest, I think the person Pat McGrath has nothing to do with the brand Pat McGrath anymore. It's just the name, not the person. Let's now use the Hourglass. I have the Jellyfish palette inside of the Owl palette. If you remember, there was a big thing with me and Hourglass going on, and actually also with House Labs, because they did not ship out my shit. They created the label with DHL, they didn't ship it out. I had conversations with their customer service, and after like a week or 1.5 weeks or so, they both refunded me. And another week later, or 4 days, something like that later, I got the notification that it's on the way. And House Labs plus this, so it was free. Sometimes you have to have luck. And I have used this already once, and I have to admit the bronzer is the first Hourglass bronzer that I love. And it's one of the new shades. It's called the Lunar Bronze. I love it. It's a really good shade for me. It looks quite warm in the pan, to be honest. And it is also warm on the skin, but it has the perfect amount of warmth. I mean, look at that. It is a bit luminous, but it's not as luminous as the others. And the bronzer that I have in the other palettes from Hourglass, I think I have the 2021 or 2020 palette and 2 palettes from last year. They turn red on me. But this one, I love it. I still haven't used this diffused heat blush. This is also not new, but I have used the, what's it called? The Rose Fusion blush a couple of times now, and it's pretty. It's really, really good. And I think this also matches the look today. Why did you start doing your YouTube so late? Okay, what do you mean? Do you mean late in the term of age? Because I think 32 is not late. But if you think late in the term of I am clearly a passionate makeup lover, why haven't I started earlier? Because I was afraid. And I didn't have the money to start it, because let's be honest, when you start a YouTube channel today, nobody will watch your videos if you film with a shitty phone on your bed. You have to invest in equipment before you start. I personally think that. And again, with my wonderful husband, I had the opportunity to invest in a camera. I do have a Sony Alpha ZV-E10 here. I do have a Rode the Pro microphone, I don't know, the bigger one. I do have a very expensive ring light. I do have filler lights, and I just very recently got in the back of me some like light strips that I can use to lighten up the background when it's still dark outside. And we invested in software. I basically invested before starting this channel, and even like in the first couple of weeks, I invested probably 3,000 euro in equipment. And I really hope that I can get a good payback from that. But my husband also said, and if you don't get the payback from the channel and you one day want to stop doing videos, then we're just gonna sell it, because this is stuff that always will sell. So for highlighter, I'm using this new one, the metallic strobe powder in opal strobe light, and this is stunning, 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 stunning. But yeah, the reason basically was I didn't have the equipment, and it also took me a while to show my face actually, because I'm still afraid that people from work will recognize me or find me. And some people from my university, oh my god, I have something in my eye, already found me. But for some reason I didn't care, but I would care much more if it was people from work. I don't know why. And one last question we have, is there any popular creator you don't watch or you don't like? And I saved that question actually for the last, because a lot to cover with that. I don't want to say names, to be honest, because I don't want to bash, but it's just my personal opinion. And okay, there is this one creator that I used to watch because she had really nice makeup skills, but I had to stop watching her because she's a typical ass licker and a typical sugarcoating person. And I also can't stand, like, I get mad because every 2 seconds she's doing this nervous laugh. I hate that. And I think a lot of you know who I mean. The thing is, I'm really sad that I just can't watch her anymore, that I get so frustrated by watching this person, because I really liked her makeup skills. I really enjoyed that. I also found a lot of her reviews, especially when it came to complexion products, very, very helpful. But again, I just can't. Then there is this other creator that I watch her still because I like her vibe. I like her style. I like her eyeshadow style because we're very, very similar. But there are just certain behaviors. Is that even a word? Behaviors? You know what I mean, that I just can't stand anymore. First of all, how many times in a video can you say that you're going on a trip to Disney? I think by now you know who I mean. How much of a pick-me girl can you be in the makeup world? I even watched today a video from her, and every 2 minutes she said, oh, I don't know if I can do this before I go on this trip, before I go on that trip. Nobody cares. You already said it, that you are going on a trip, and that is the reason why maybe the videos are short or are not a lot, not as much as usual. We get it. Why do you have to stress this out with every single thing you say? It's annoying. And this person is also very, very known for this. Yeah, but there's something going on in my life that I can't tell you right now. Or if you saw this video where I told you what's going on in my life, just tell me. I hate this gatekeeping manner. I just truly hate this. I get the reason, you know. I get that you want to encourage people to watch a certain video. But why can't you just tell us the basic info, and then I can still decide if I want to watch the video? So for example, on the weekends, my schedule is so that I start filming, and I usually film like my brand review first, then the beginner series, or I like split it up and film basically everything at the same time, but just in different like new videos. And then I keep on filming probably my You Don't Need That Shit or some other videos that I was planning to do. And those videos go up before, for example, the brand review. That means you see the eye look earlier in that week than the tutorial on that. And people asking in the comments, what are you wearing on your eyes? And my answer to that will always be, oh, I'm wearing this, 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 and that. But you can see this in depth on Friday's video, on the brand review. Because people then can still decide if they want to watch that or not, or if that is enough for them to know. Some people don't like tutorial style videos. They have their own creativity going on. They just want to know what I used to create that, to want to recreate it. And I think this has nothing to do with sabotaging myself and not encouraging people to watch my videos. I don't want to pressure people to watch my videos. Of course I'm saying, yes, you should subscribe because you miss otherwise this and that. Of course, that's normal. I want you to subscribe. I want you to stay. But I also don't want to gatekeep. I don't want to be one of those gatekeeping shit persons. Then there is this other creator that I still love her videos and I still am subscribed to her. I still watch her. By the way, if you remember, I said in some video that I will move my subscription list to this account now. I still haven't. I still watch videos with my old YouTube account, but doesn't matter. She often posts on Instagram the piles of PR, stacks them up, and then stands beside it to show that she got more PR than she's tall. I know this is meant to be funny, but in my opinion, this is showing off. Just saying. Let me just set my face really quick and then we're done already. I'm now using finishing powder, and that is my biggest critique about the palette. I wish the two finishing powders, this is Ethereal Light and Diffused Light, were next to each other, because I usually in those palettes, since the pans are so small, like to swirl it around, but to be quite careful, so I'm using only Ethereal Light today. And then there is this other creator that I also watch, but I don't watch her because of makeup skills, because I don't want to say she has none, but it's very basic. But I watch her for entertainment, you know, because she's very, very entertaining. And I love her like specific types of videos, and these are basically the only ones that I watch. But for whatever reason, it throws me off that she's constantly promoting the way she's drinking and taking pills. I don't know if that's fun. I can't really tell. But it throws me just off. I mean, it's not bad drinking alcohol, like, don't get me wrong, but she is giving off this vibe that getting drunk and apparently taking medicine for mental reasons is a good thing. That's the vibe that I get. You can, if you know who I mean, you can kindly correct me if that is just a joke that I missed because I've just watched her like for a year or so. If that is something that I just did not check out, let me know, then I'm happy to take that back, what I just said. I don't have any real new lip liners besides MAC Oak, and I think it doesn't match, so I'm using the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude lip liner. And I want to pair it with Thanks It's MAC lipstick. It's a luster glass. Yeah, it's more of a like sheeny, shiny lipstick. But it's a beautiful color, to be honest. By the way, people love the MAC scent. I get sick from that scent. I really hate it. Okay, so this is now the finished look. I have to say, even though I have struggled a bit with a few of the shimmer shades because they're like this typical indie formulation. So for example, this Imagine shade that I have on the inner third of my lid, I had to correct that like 5 times because it got so crumbly. But I think I now was able to smooth it out. So be careful with shades like that. They tend to build up a bit too much. Other than that, I'm fucking sold on this. Shit. I didn't want to buy the recently de-influenced. I wait until it's on my wallet shop and see how much it costs. But I want to circle back on the questions why I started my YouTube so late. And I just want to add why I started YouTube. All the things that I just criticized on other creators that give me a weird feeling. And as I said, 3 out of those 4 that I just mentioned, I still watch because I like everything else about them. But my personal goal is, first of all, to not lose touch with reality. Second of all, if I'm ever in that lucky position to get PR, I don't want to brag. I don't want to show off. I hate undisclosed sponsorships. I hate not disclosing PR. And still to this day, this is not really a YouTube problem, I think, because we learned, or like the YouTubers learned the lessons in 2014, 2015, 2016, when it all started with the PR and sponsorships. But on Instagram, I hate that. I hate the fact that you don't know what is PR and what not. And I don't want to assume that PR is changing the opinions of people, but But you can't tell me that there is no influence on that, because let's be honest, the Charlotte Tilbury holiday collection is boring as shit. I am a motherfucking clown. I bought the Beautyverse palette. It's not here yet, at least the day I'm filming. But I bought it because one of my trusty friends from Jen's Beauty Nest, Jenna, she reviewed that. And I actually like what she says about the eyeshadow. And I actually got interested in that. So I bought it, for example, with her code because it got me a really good discount. Not for full price, this palette. But I believed in what she said. Even though she's a brand affiliate, she bought it with her own money. But all of those influencers that are raving about these palettes, that are praising this palette as the best thing since noodles got invented, I'm pretty sure that all of them got the Pillow Talk PR kit that was sent out by Charlotte Tilbury 2 months ago. You can't convince me otherwise. Only if you have proof for that. Then let me know. I'm open for that. But I'm just sick of sugarcoating. I'm sick of filters. I'm sick of people pretending something to be that they aren't. And I don't care if you see myself in Insta stories after 16 hours with worn off patchy makeup. It's reality. I don't care that you see texture. I don't fucking care that you can see me without makeup. I don't fucking care that you see my breakouts. I don't fucking care that you see where I pick my skin, because that's reality. Worse enough that I always see on Reddit people photographing their faces and saying like, my foundation looks like that. Why does it not look like, I don't know, filtered Creator 1 ABC? Because they have filters. I don't use filters. I don't want to. Why should I? Why should I lie to you? What do I have from that? If I ever get affiliates, if I ever get sponsored for shit, I'm pretty sure you would rather buy this because you see how it works in reality and because you can basically imagine how this might look on your skin. We are sick of buying stuff from picture perfect people. That's not what we want in 2023. Or at least I don't want that. And if you don't want that too, you're welcome here. If you expect filters and fillers and out of reality things, I'm sorry to disappoint you. You will not get that here. I cuss, I swear, I say shit and fuck all the time. I don't care for that. And I don't care for filters. I don't care for lying. I don't care for popular brands. I don't care for public eye's opinion. The only thing I care about is how can I look at myself in the mirror. And I sometimes make fun of people. That got really serious at the end. But I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to check out the info box, because there you can follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. And I also do have this buy me a coffee link where you can buy me slices of pizza. If you're wondering what that is, it's basically a website where you can support my channel by donating money. That money gets reinvested in the channel. It's not for my personal fun. It is investment for this channel to buy makeup to review. Thank you so far to everybody who has donated money. I'm very, very thankful for that. And I still can't believe that you are giving money to strangers on the internet. It's just so generous and I feel very, very appreciated by that. But do you know what? The biggest support that you can actually do is subscribing and following on the other socials. Thank you for watching. If you have any other questions that I could tackle on in other videos or that I should answer in the comments, let me know down below and I will see you in the next one.